Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Paradoxic, and welcome back to Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. This time we're on Season 1, Episode 8, titled The Well, and the last episode was The Hub, which was a really, really cool episode to see. We saw the team visiting, the Hub, which is one of the S.H.I.E.L.D. HQs, a big S.H.I.E.L.D. HQ, but not as big as the Triskelion. But the Hub is pretty much a Shield HQ, which means where it's where all of the kind of operations and organizations and information stuff goes down, like how they actually do their day-to-day job, and all the agents and the soldiers and all that stuff. Like it's one of the places where Shield actually operates and stuff. And I think I did come to the conclusion towards the end of the episode that Shield is basically like generally speaking, it is like an information organization. Like they're tasked with keeping the world safe from threats. And someone did comment saying that that is pretty much like an accurate description. Like they keep the world safe from threats, whether they're man-made or as they now know exist, alien threats as well. But with doing such a job comes all of the safe holding and the safekeeping of information and stuff like that, and different kind of security levels and clearance level and stuff, and only agents at a certain level of clearance can actually access and get hold of various types of information. So you got level 1, I think maybe all the way to level 8 or above, or something like that. Like, I mean, unless you're the director of S.H.I.E.L.D., like Nick Fury, you're probably level 2 billion or something, and we'll level infinity. But yeah, that's actually something that they actually took the opportunity, and actually they actually used that opportunity well to actually explore the fact that the whole information clearance thing at S.H.I.E.L.D., it works very, very well because of how it's constructed. Like, not everyone has the access to the same information or even all information. Like, different people are able to see different things, and you work your way up if that's your intention. Or, you stay at a different level. You work at what you specialize in. So Fitzsimmons are scientists, and then you got Melinda and Ward, who are like agents who specialize in the field, like doing combat and actually undergoing all of the field operations and all that stuff. So you got different people for different things, you got different levels for different things. So that is the concept that Skye, being a former Rising Tide hacktivist, couldn't really grasp or couldn't really get comfortable with, because she thought well, surely if we're working all of these jobs, then we should have access to all the information. But that's not how it works. But she did kind of encourage Gemma herself to hack into a level 8 security server and actually access information from there, like to get information on the mission that Warden Fitz was specifically chosen for. And then she came to the conclusion, she came across the information that there was no extraction plan in place for Warden Fitz's mission. Like, they go in, they do the job, but then there's no way of actually getting them out. And I can't remember, I don't know if it was because of a lack of resources, or maybe they just didn't really feel it was necessary, like, oh, they should be able to fight their way, or something like that. But Agent Victoria Hand did make a point of saying that Agent Barton and Romanoff, like Hawkeye and Black Widow, they always go in without an extraction plan, or they always know that going in. But those are two very different people. Like, Warden Fitz and Barton and Romanoff are two very different people. One side is totally okay with having to kill their way out. The other side, not so much. So they kind of, Coulson fell into a little bit of a kerfuffle with that, and then the cavalry came in at the end, Coulson's Angels. Skye, Simmons, and May came together to rescue their boys from the South Ossetian, fist fight with guns. But yeah, so that was that. I think that they explored that whole thing really well, like what S.H.I.E.L.D. is, what they do, how they do it, and like what they specialize in, and what's so important about the structure that they have, especially in terms of like information and security and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it was a really nice way to kind of ground it in this universe that they're building as well. But there was that, and then of course Fitz and Ward having their little team up thing. I think that was an interesting way to kind of explore the dynamic between them, and also the differences between them, and like the glaringly obvious ones, like Fitz being the lab geek who develops the weapons, who's not really combat trained, doesn't really have the muscle for it, he's not really you wouldn't look at him and think he's the hero, but Ward, he's been combat trained, he's a field agent. He goes out, he gets the job done, he gets his hands dirty. You think of him, you see him, and you can tell he's got the body fit for that kind of stuff. And some ladies might call him hot and all that kind of stuff. Like, so those kinds of glaring differences between them, I think they somewhat explored in like a not so cheesy way. I think they actually took the time to explore it well, and like Fitz bringing that up between them, like being like him assuring Ward when he was unplugging the core, like being like, I'm not leaving this here. I'm not just going to run away from this just because there's no extraction plan. I'm every bit the agent that you are, and I'm just as strong and as brave as you are, and I'm going to prove it to you. So that kind of thing. They both kind of debate, like not really debated, but that kind of thing they both kind of discussed even in the heat of the moment. And then by the time they finished the mission, they did realize that they've got their differences, but then that's what makes them work so well together. Like, they were chosen because of their differences. Like, if they had sent 2 field people in, it would never have worked. If they had sent 2 lab geeks in, it never would have worked. They needed one person from each different kind of field to make it work. And Fitz also, as he showed, Fitz is quick on his feet. He can think and adapt to the situation. He started using the core to like disable the guards' guns, and then he kicked one out who had had Ward in a chokehold, so he is useful in that situation. And while Fitz is doing his sciencey thing, Ward's got his back, he's got his cover, he'll take out guys coming for him. They work well together. So yeah, and the team as a whole, they've got a nice bit of diversity with how they work, and I think that's been really well explored so far throughout the season as well. So that was really cool to see. What else? We had a bit of Skye's history revealed by Coulson himself, not by the information that she hacked the server to find out more about. But Coulson himself looked into the system a bit more and found out that it was actually a SHIELD agent who found her and handed her into the St. Agnes orphanage. And at first he told Skye that he didn't know who she was or why she did it, but that's all they know, and that he will keep digging. But then upon rendezvousing in his office with May, he said, May was like, so you told her the truth about the SHIELD agent, but you didn't tell her why she did it. So I think so he knows why it happened, he knows what happened, but I don't know if he knows who it was. I mean, they had a folder open and there was like a picture of a dead body on the ground, so I don't know if that was of the SHIELD agent or maybe that was her mother, but either way, Skye has a deeper history with SHIELD than she actually imagines, so this definitely kind of opens up some new routes for them to take, which I'm very interested to see them take. But yeah, so a SHIELD agent did in fact find her, but we will discover more on that soon to come, potentially in this episode, maybe in the next few episodes, but it's all building up very well, I think. I think the pacing of this is really well so far. It's keeping me hooked with different things, but also there are little teasers here and there that actually keep me watching the show and keep me wanting to find out more about what happens. So I'm getting into this. I'm really getting into this. And last but not least, we had Coulson calling into SHIELD to request more information about his recovery, but I think it was a last minute thing. Maybe his access to that information was revoked. I think he said he was a level 8 agent, so he should have clearance of that info. But then the guy on the phone said, not according to the system. Maybe you want me to ask Director Fury to reconfirm. But then Coulson was like, no, it's fine. So either the information has been moved up a level so that Coulson can't access it, or Coulson has been lowered down. I think it's probably the former. I think lowering him a level would probably be too suspicious, but taking the information up would probably be more you'd probably be able to be more discreet with that, unless unless he would have thought to call ahead and request the information, which he did. So yeah. And if my voice sounds a little raspy, it's because I've had a sore throat for the last 3 days and it's just hell. So yeah. But that is pretty much all I have from the last episode. So episode 8, The Well. Let's go.
Don't say I never gave you anything.
Greenwich University.
Alien spectrographic
is this after Thor: The Dark World?
Necessary precaution.
Is this after Thor: The Dark World?
Alien getting in the wrong
With
hands.
the Dark Elves?
Still, this is definitely the type
Ah,
of
okay,
ridiculous they
cool.
do.
You know, it'd be nice if for once Thor and his people sent down the god of cleaning up after yourself. They probably have a magic broom for this kind of thing.
I just wish they left their alien ship behind.
I wonder who's worthy
so we
for
can
that.
clean that up too. Wouldn't mind getting my human hands on Thor. So
And you're not the first lady to say
He's
that.
handsome, but
No, he's dreamy.
He is one handsome man. I'll say so myself. He is one handsome
his-
man. There is something inside of there. Whoa! What's this?
Don't hide from its power. Embrace it.
Oh, this is some Asgardian bad news, is what it is. Oh, she looks pissed off. Damn! So she's got super strength now?
Think the tree grew around it?
I'd have to check the dendrochronology first to know for certain.
Oh, he's
but I mean,
keeping her
it always
distracted.
is
I
an
like that,
advanced
yeah.
coniferous, and I know you're trying to
Keeping
trick
her
me into going
thoughts
up
on
like
sciencey
that.
stuff. Yeah, yeah.
Catch you if you fall.
That's a good idea, though. Keeping
Screaming
someone
and
distracted as they go up.
So much hate in her eyes.
Spectrographic signatures match readings from Thor's hammer.
Thor's hammer.
Simmons. Whatever was in that tree is Asgardian.
From Uru metal? From the same metal
I
as
can see an
Mjolnir?
imprint of what was embedded.
It's a piece
Well
of something.
crafted, engraved.
Yeah, because the ends are chopped off.
I'll convert it, print a 3D
Yeah.
model.
We are gods. Jesus Christ. Well,
Jacob
someone's a
Nystrom,
really
30,
big fan of
girlfriend,
Thor.
Petra Larson. Which means Sid and Nancy may be looking for a complete set.
Hmm.
The markings?
maybe a bigger
Asgardian
hammer.
symbolism.
Yeah,
Hard to translate with our limited knowledge.
like
You
a
should give your
proper
buddy the
sledgehammer,
Thunder
maybe.
shout. He
It's
gets
like
his power from his
Stormbreaker,
hammer,
but without the
right? What if
axe.
this is his nail to the hammer?
I already did. Director Fury told me he's off the grid, and if he has a cell phone, we don't have the number.
Shields
Send a
investigations
raven.
are on the trail
Send a
of
raven,
Lancelot
that's his
and
best
followers.
chance.
I thought I was teaching Norse mythology. Well, turns
Oh,
out
I know this
I'm
guy.
a
He was in the
history
Mr.
professor.
Bean movie.
Berserkers battled like raging beasts, destroying everything in their path. The same
Better Ray
berserker
Bill?
had the strength of
Wait, he was worthy, wasn't he?
Actually, it does.
That's
In
convenient.
3 verses. Now, let's all bear
Oh,
in mind
great.
These are poetic abstracts from long
Oh, like the one they
ancient
use, like the
texts.
halo of
So,
stones around the tree.
There's one about a tree.
I was hoping for less metaphor, more longitude and latitude.
Well, I mean, it does stand
Wait, is the
to
guy
reason
still
searching
alive?
Viking
The
raiders and stuff.
Berserker dude?
Now, there have been
Did they
some
not just
recent
visit
interesting
him and ask him?
findings of Norse relics.
Oh wait, no. Okay, hold on. It's moving. Northwest.
Visual contact?
Oh, that's a
what time
person.
left?
That's a person. Dr.
I have a
Randolph?
wonderful explanation.
Ran into some unexpected.
Oh, crap. Ward, the rage. Oh, no, no. Ward's absorbing the rage.
What's happening?
He's absorbing the Berserker rage.
Sky, can you get...
Already on it.
Oh, no. He absorbed the Berserker rage. He's gonna go mad.
Are you alright?
Are you gonna take him on? Keep us safe?
Or am I gonna have to save Simmons' ass?
Again.
Oh, God. Ward, you need to calm the hell down. Okay?
That was just a biochemical
Okay,
reaction.
this is far more psychological rage.
No
Yeah,
explanation
like not
necessary.
him actually
find it?
punching
I have
people
no
out,
idea how
but
they found it. Then they
just
have the
pissing
original
people
texts.
off. The punching bag is a good idea, I suppose. Oh wait, is he trapped in a well? Wait, is that him or his brother? I feel like that could be his brother. Yeah.
Are you ready to take back the power?
Oh, so it's not just a one-time thing then, it can be transferred to different people. Huh.
You've got some rage built up.
Hmm.
Maybe it's time to let it out.
In a non-lethal way, of course. You know, maybe scaring him a little, not actually punching his
Start
brains
talking.
in. Wait, what?
You were right.
He just
He's
bent the
Asgardian.
blade. He's
thing.
Asgardian.
Otherwise, that would have been awfully embarrassing.
Wait, he's... Is he the berserker that left us
Okay,
that stayed behind on Earth?
How did you figure me out?
He's the berserker that stayed behind.
Math. 1. You're the Asgardian warrior who stayed.
Okay.
Please don't tell anyone.
Huh, that's
I had
interesting.
no clue. Did you?
Neither did I. Neither did I. I didn't know if I was lost.
Asgardian.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Were you captured? Tortured?
Horny. I met a French girl in 1546.
Exactly as I
Love
expected
stories.
from Horny.
So, I didn't like it at all. And you don't either, it seems.
It opens up a lot of floodgates.
It shines a light into your dark places.
They need a strong
Doesn't
warrior.
matter if you're human,
Someone outrageous.
Asgardian, everything changes.
I'll tell you what's going to change. Your anonymity. Unless you help us find the final piece of your staff. You may not know Thor, but I do.
Yeah. That's a great line. Yeah. You don't know the God of Thunder, one of the strongest Avengers, but
My first
I
love
thought, but I was
on
killed
this
by his
planet
brother.
was
Okay,
Ireland.
I've got
It was a
connections.
monastery. A rage in your chest that makes you feel as if your heart's about to explode.
Just get to the point.
It's worse on humans.
Oh
But give it a few
jeez,
decades and
a few
it'll
decades.
wear off too.
Oh damn. Oh, I don't know if he's got that long.
To the field?
Why do you think I trusted them with my secret? They take a vow of silence.
Or maybe they're already here and it's gone.
When you get them talking,
They have.
they squeal. If you want to defeat
Oh,
your gods,
Jesus.
you must become one.
Oh, all that rage. Oh, Jesus. Oh crap! Oh Jesus, Ward! Come on. Okay, channel that anger, Ward. Direct it. Direct it. There we go. Yeah. Oh, that's it. That's my boy.
Oh, okay, I think
Yeah.
I got it. Hard.
Huh.
Can you?
Oh, he's gonna take them all on. Oh, he's gonna dual wield. He's gonna dual wield. Damn. Oh crap. No, God, that's Guardian Billy Clubs.
Not yet, Grant.
Help me! He's gonna...
Not yet. Throw him the rope, and I'll throw you in there too.
Oh, this must have been the older brother. The abusive older brother. God. Oh God, Ward, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah, come on, May. Time for you to kick some ass. Oh, what's May's rage? What's May's rage? Oh, sugar! Damn! Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, and the star. The star. Yeah, take a step back, bitch. Oh, you should be. Yeah. Oh, God. Oh, love you, May. I love you so much. A bottle of wine in an open room. He's gonna join her. He's joining her.
Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. will return in a moment.
Cheers, Phil. Oh, is this Tahiti? This must be Tahiti, where he got sent for recovery. Or like post-recovery... recovery.
Did I fall asleep? Tahiti's too good to be true.
Huh.
I know.
Yeah, you get
It's a
resurrected and then you
magical
get a
place.
free massage. Or not. You get trigger some dreams. It's not very comforting. Okay. Okay. So, plenty of stuff going down in this episode. Very, very MCU lore heavy, as this show very much is. first things first, though. So this is set after Thor 2, pretty much, like directly after Thor 2. Like the opening scene was in Greenwich University, which I believe is where the final battle against Malekith and the Dark Elves took place. And I will admit, it's just like a personal preference thing. Like Thor 2, I've seen it like twice, not because it's the second Thor film, but because that's as many times like I've needed to see it in order to refresh my memory on what actually happened. And admittedly, like for me personally, it's not my favorite Marvel movie. It's not my favorite MCU movie. I think it's kind of bland at some points, and as like a Thor film, it's all right. But you know, like the villain is kind of meh, and I think that they really kind of, you know, under-delivered on Jane Foster, I think, and you know. Like, I mean, it's good in terms of progressing the story of the Infinity Saga, like introducing the Reality Stone and all that stuff. But as like a Thor film, it's all right, and in other places it's kind of meh. But it's good to see returning faces again. They bring back stuff like Selvig and Darcy and everyone, Selvig, sorry, in cool ways and stuff, and it's enjoyable. But it's like a Marvel. It's like for me, it's the kind of MCU movie I'd watch just for fun, like not because like or again because I needed to refresh my memory, not because, you know, oh, I actually want to see this part again or that part again. And it's not terrible, it's just like not my favorite one. I don't really know if I have like a least favorite one because I'm just so in love with the MCU, but Thor 2 is definitely kind of low on the list of my favorites. But if you guys love it, then more power to you. But that is cool that they actually brought Thor 2 in for this. They actually picked up, and S.H.I.E.L.D. is responsible for the cleanup of all the wreckage at Greenwich University. Because as we remember, like in the like with the portals in Thor 2 with the Reality Stone, I think it sent stuff crashing all over the place, and like sometimes it wasn't even portals. Sometimes just cars would just come flying out of like seemingly invisible kind of gaps in the fabric of reality. And then you'd get Mjolnir like flying halfway across like one galaxy, and then as Thor flies through another portal, just like be like, "Whoa, got a quick U-turn," and then just fly right back. That stuff is funny to me. But it's cool that they actually bring it back in that sense, and you know, like that's how they actually lead into the next thing. Like, you know, just like exploring more Asgardian stuff, Asgardian mythology, and the weaponry and stuff like that. And one thing they mentioned actually really struck a chord with me as well, like the fact that they mentioned Norse mythology. Like, you know, obviously like supposedly the gods came to Earth a long time ago, like thousands of years ago, and then they left, and then that's what Norse mythology is made of. So in the MCU, Norse mythology is actually based on real life experiences that ancient humans had with the Asgardians. And I remember, I think it might have been, I don't know which film it was in. I don't know if it was in Thor 1 or Thor 2. I think one of them had like Bor, Odin's father, Thor's grandfather, like fighting a mighty fight. I think that was probably in Thor 2 when Bor fought, when Bor was actually the first one to fight the Dark Elves, and then that's when like they went, like they defeated them, I think, and then they went about hiding the Reality Stone. But then Malekith just fled into hibernation and all that sort of stuff. I think, I'm not sure. It's still been years since the last time I saw Dark World. But Bor was I think in that, I don't know if it was true. I don't know if that was the instance, but I think there was another battle where Odin actually fought the Frost Giants on Earth in Norway. So I don't know which one actually comes first in that. So in that sense, I don't know if it's like Odin's fight with the Frost Giants or if it's Bor's fight with the Dark. I don't know which one chronologically speaking comes in through, but one of those battles, well, presumably one of those battles. But either way, the Asgardian gods coming to Earth for the first time and then leaving, prompted those ancient humans to actually write down everything that happened and script it down and create their own mythology based on that. So that's where, like, in the MCU, that's where Norse mythology comes from, and I think that's really, really cool. So, you know, that stuff is based on real experiences. So it's what would happen if the Bible was actually based off of real stuff. I mean, I'm not trying to pick any religious bones here. I'm not trying to, throw any shade at religious people or anything. If you are religious, more power to you. But I mean, in that sense, that is the example I kind of draw a parallel to. Like, if the Bible was written by someone who directly had met God and then wrote down all of that stuff. Probably a poor example, but off the top of my head, that's the best I can come up with. But in the MCU, that is what their Norse mythology is made of. And it reminds me of a line from Far From Home, actually, when they're discussing when they're actually discussing the elementals and mythology and stuff, and then Peter says, oh, like, so they're myths, basically, like, Thor was a myth, and now we study him in my physics class. So like, they used to be myths, but then all this stuff went down with the Destroyer in New Mexico and everything, and then people were like, oh crap, this mythology is actually real. Thor exists, and he's a handsome, buff space dude. Space man. No, not a dude. He's a man. Very much according to Drax. But hey, Thor's a handsome dude. Even straight dudes will admit Thor's a handsome guy. But yeah, that is actually a really cool thing I picked up on, that they actually gave a little heads up on. So yeah, that's that. And then we have Jakob and Petra, who were the leaders of a Norse paganist hate group. So that they're basically like Norse, like believers of Norse mythology that believe that the gods will rise, or at least that they are the wielder, that they are somehow the true wielders of the powers of Asgardian like gods or whatever. But I think from the brief snippets I actually remember from the episode, like, of them celebrating having found these pieces, like, they were saying, like, oh, the world will plunge into darkness again, or that we will become gods, or something along those lines. So they do believe that having studied this stuff and having invested their life and belief systems into this stuff, like, they deserve and they are entitled to the power of the Asgardian gods, and they will bring that stuff back into the light, whilst pushing everything else down into darkness and rising above it all. So that's cool. I wonder what Thor would think of them. But yeah, I think what was I going to say? Elliot Randolph. I recognize I don't know what the actor's name is, but I recognize him from that Mr. Bean movie way back when. He when Mr. Bean worked at as an art critic or something, and he replaced an ancient, or a really fortune-worthy painting of a woman in a chair with a poster. And then that happened, and yeah, that was a great comedic movie. But Elliot Randolph not only is a professor of Norse mythology, but he is also the Berserker warrior. He was the one who stayed behind on Earth after having visited it, and then when the other Berserkers went back, he stayed behind after having actually fallen in love with an earthly French girl. So I think that's a fairly interesting parallel. That's like what would happen if Thor decided not to go back, because Thor, he had the whole, he made the promise to Jane in Thor 1 that he would return after having defeated Loki, but then in order to stop Loki from winning, he just destroyed the Bifrost, and then he couldn't return back at all, at least not until very much later. I still can't really. I think someone explained it on Reddit once, but I think I've forgotten. I don't know how he actually made it from Asgard back to Earth in the first Avengers to actually capture Loki on the Quinjet, but something happened. But yeah, so he was. So I think Elliot Randolph, he was a Berserker warrior, but then he fell in love with an Earth woman, and then had the opportunity to go back, but didn't take it. So he is basically like what would have happened if Thor never actually went back anyway. But in Thor's case, he would have had to sacrifice Loki winning for the chance to stay with Jen. Even then, he still would have lost her in some way, because Loki still made the promise to visit her himself and all that stuff. So there's that. But he is the Berserker warrior and the Berserker staff. So yeah, so it makes sense how it works. So it unlocks the rage in the wielder, and it's because of the fact that the Berserker. The word berserk, it means to actually to go mad with rage and pain and all that stuff. So if you're building an army of Berserker warriors, you need your soldiers and your warriors at their absolute angriest, at their absolute maddest. So the way that works is actually really interesting as well. Like the fact that it's not just it doesn't just give you super strength; it gives you the mentality to be able to effectively utilize that super strength. It actually it unlocks the floodgates in your mind. It makes you think of I think it could either make you think of every painful memory all at once. So I think that would just probably send you like uncontrollably crazy. Like you probably end up attacking your own people. But it like unlocks the floodgates maybe to like your most painful memory, the one that makes you go mad the most, while still being somewhat aware of your surroundings. So that makes a lot of sense. And Elliot Randolph was a Mason. He wasn't even a soldier to begin with. He was just like someone who actually enlisted, so to speak, in the Berserker warrior army upon hearing that they needed warriors. And he had like a boring job. I think he said he was a Mason. He just broke rocks. I think maybe he was like a miner or something on Asgard. But with Asgard, that's literally a flat Earth. Like that's like a flat thing. Like if you look at those shots from like Thor Ragnarok when the ship is going towards it, it's literally like a flat land with the with the Asgardian palaces and whatnot rising above it. The water literally falls off the edge. I mean, it could be argued that it has an atmosphere, but it's still like a flat chunk of land. Like, let me look it up. Let me look that crap up, because again, that is literally a flat planet. Asgard, Thor, yep. Ragnarok, yeah, that's where the shot's from. Yeah, that is literally a flat planet. It literally falls off the edge, and it's got the little icebergy things at the bottom and everything, and it's got the mountains coming at the top. And again, it could be argued that it has an atmosphere so the people on it can breathe, but at the same time, that is like a thing. Like it's a flat planet, it's a flat world. So yeah, I mean, every time I hear about flat earthers, I just think, you got flat Asgard, make do with that. Stop trying to turn the Earth flat. But yeah, either way, where was I? Yeah, so Asgard, I mean, mining, that still makes sense. They have mountains, they probably have caves and stuff as well, so that makes sense that they're still mining that stuff. But yeah, so with the Berserker staff, it unlocks the rage in you. So with Ward, I think in all cases, I think it is psychological rage. I think like for Petra, I think at the beginning we just saw her punching that guard into a tree, so I thought, that must be Hulk-like rage. But it is, in all cases, pretty much, it is psychological rage. And with Ward, we had his like flashbacks, but then in the end, a fully open story of how his younger brother was trapped down a well, and he went to help him, but then his older, more abusive brother, the one who would beat the crap out of him and his brother just for eating a slice of his birthday cake, as we found out. His more abusive brother told him not to and to wait, and also threatened to throw him in the well if he actually tried to help him. So we did see him towards the end actually throwing the rope down once his brother walked away. So I don't know if his brother actually survived or not, or if something else happened, if they cut off before something more traumatic happened. But that sucks. I mean, his brother just looks like a douchey McDouchebag, but that's just abusive on a whole other level. Just knowing that his brother could die, but then wanting to make him suffer anyway, and threatening to throw the other one in just for helping him, that's just, it's no wonder Ward's got traumas. And with Ward, I think the worst thing was that he actually kept it locked away. For him, the best case scenario was to actually keep it locked away and to not think about it and to focus on the mission at hand and all that stuff, and to be tactical and not let anything distract him. Whereas with May's one, I think the fact that they didn't show it just goes to show how bad it was. It could have been as bad as Ward's, it could have been even worse. With her, I think, obviously when we first meet May, she refuses to go out into the field presumably because of some past bad past experiences within the field, maybe losing people on her team, maybe losing her entire team or whatever. So that, and maybe something to do with her past as a whole, before becoming a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, growing up or something. But with hers, I think it's bad enough that they just don't want to show it, but they show off her reactions to that rage. She effectively just whoops everyone's collective asses. With Ward, it's him unleashing all of that pain that he's kept locked up, because he's kept it locked away, which means he's kept the pain bottled up. Whenever he has a chance to work out or beat a punching bag, he lets it out that way, but he's never actually processed it or actually let that anger out. He's always kept it on lockdown. So that one we see as the flashbacks come through, we see him beating everyone up. But then with May, it's with her, she sees it every day. and that's her secret. Like, she is basically the Hulk of the team. She's always angry. She always sees those flashbacks. She always sees, like, you know, her team having been. She always sees whatever traumas she's had to suffer and whatever bad experiences she's had to face in the past, and she keeps that. She always directs it whenever she's fighting, whenever she's doing anything, and like she was doing that kind of. I don't know what she was doing. I think like Tai Chi, or like honestly I don't know. Like, I could not recognize a fighting style to save my life. But whatever she was doing on the plane in the hub when Coulson was talking to her, with her using just her eyes, like that stuff, I feel like that's also a good kind of stress reliever for her. But yeah, with her, she always channels her anger. She never tries. She never bothers, I think, to actually put it away or to actually try and get rid of it, because she knows there is no getting rid of it. It's a part of her now, but all she can do is actually control it instead of letting it control her. Whereas with Ward, he was doing it the other way around. So I think that's an interesting dynamic to see where they both come from too. But they did both kind of opt to share a bottle of wine and the same room at the end of the episode. So I mean, I don't want to push any buttons. I don't want to put any strings here, but I feel like they're going to be doing more than sharing just a bottle of wine. But again, I don't want to put any strings. If that happens, then it happens. If it doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen. But I mean, in one sense, it would be good for them because they both then have shared past experiences. They both have traumas and stuff that they're trying to forget or live with and stuff like that. So they both have a lot in common. Yeah, that may or may not happen. If it does, then just roll with the flow. I mean, they're not strangers. They know each other. They're obviously going to talk through it a bit before doing anything, if they are going to do anything. But yeah, that was Ward and May's control and their kinds of rage. But that was that. And what else? But yeah, with Ward as well, I think what was interesting with him was he kind of, like, his rage made him exploit the weaknesses of the other members of the team, like with Skye, him being like, all you do is talk, and with Gemma, like her, like sometimes not being like with her sometimes not being able to find immediate solutions to things, like her being like him being like, don't sedate me, just find out what's wrong with me and fix it. And especially too, I think the one who took the biggest hit probably, like Fitz, him being like, like tell me what you're gonna do if those pagan Norse hate group people come here again, like if they're all juiced up on their rage and their super strength. Tell me what you're gonna do if they come here again. Like, are you gonna fail to save Gemma's life, or am I gonna have to do that all over again? So he knows there's a soft spot for Fitz, and he knows like these are soft spots for everyone on the team. So that, I think, was an interesting starting point. Like, he was close to actually lashing out at someone physically, but like to start off with, they just had him actually attacking people emotionally and mentally and stuff like that, which I think, again, it's an interesting way of seeing how the Berserker thing works. Like, it's not just, it doesn't just send you Hulk mode. It still allows you to maintain most of your mentality, but it brings out the rage in you, and it actually allows you to be aware of your environment, but also be aware of where to channel the anger and all that sort of stuff. So it's an interesting thing. I think part of me thinks it could also work as some kind of Asgardian curse, because again, this is a dark weapon. This is a dark magic weapon. It's not really a toy to be played with. It's not really something for like the lighthearted. Like, if someone's out looking for vengeance and they grab hold of this thing, then they will most likely achieve their mission. But it's a good thing that Elliot Randolph was around to help them when he did. I think, what's his Asgardian name? It's not Mason, right? Mason does not sound like an Asgardian name, but I'm wondering what his Asgardian name is, because Asgardians, I always think of like so many different things about them, like the fact that even in Asgard there's like a hierarchy. Like, you've got you've got Odin, and you've got Thor and Loki, and then you got you had Frigga, and technically you had Loki as well, and you had Heimdall. But then you had the Valkyries. They were their own elite force. You had the Warriors 3 and Lady Sif as well. But then you also just had the general Asgardian civilians. So there's clearly a hierarchy there. But then I wonder if the thing, if like the biology and stuff in Thor and like with the Asgardians works the same with the Kryptonians in Man of Steel, because in Man of Steel, Jor-El explains to Cal that, you know, he can fly and stuff, and like he can fly because Earth's gravity is weaker, and he has all these abilities like you know, like his laser eyes and his super strength because his cells absorb the sun's radiation. Like that kind of stuff. Like, so because he's on a different planet and he's in a different system, he's under different you know, astrology. No, that's to do with star signs, isn't it? Astronomical, I guess. Yeah, like he's under different astronomical. And I think in his case he's definitely an alien. He's seen as a god, but he's not actually a god or anything. But he's under different astronomical conditions and on a different planet, and so he's adapted to that stuff in that way. So his body's chemistry seems much stronger and much more different because of where he is. But with Thor and the Asgardians, I wonder if that's the same thing. I mean, Thor can still fly on Asgard with the help of Mjolnir. If he's like we see in the Dark World, when he summons Mjolnir, he jumps off a ledge and goes flying off with it in hand. So I wonder if like he still has that thing. Like if there's any kind of difference in like astronomy or like in terms of atmosphere, if there's any difference with that, or if his super strength is still a part of him on Asgard. I mean, because surely regardless of your royalty or anything, you still have the same strength on Asgard, right? You are still Asgardian biology, so even a civilian like a miner will still have like Asgardian like Elliot Randolph. He still would have had super strength, right, to be able to mine Asgardian minerals and stuff like that. I don't know. It's something I think about, like if Asgardian biology changes when they're on Earth, or if super strength and stuff all seems normal to them because it's how they are. But it's a question I guess I can answer on Reddit or on the Wikia. But if you guys have any theories on that stuff, then do let me know. This is the kind of stuff about the MCU that I like to discuss. But yeah, that is pretty much all I have from this one. It's an interesting episode, great way to bring back, great place to start off from with the post Thor 2 battle. Great way to bring in the Asgardian stuff, and all the Asgardian mythology and the weapons and stuff as well. I think they said it was made of a rare metal. I'm wondering if that was still Uru metal, because I know to my knowledge, a lot of the Asgardian weapons I'm aware of are made of the Uru metal forged by the dwarves, by Eitri and the other dwarves. So yeah. But yeah, that stuff is that, and yeah, that's pretty much all I have from this one. So looking forward to seeing what's coming up next. But yeah, great way to bring back Asgardian stuff into this, and great way to incorporate it as well. But yeah, that was Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 1, Episode 8, titled The Well. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then salt and burn that like button. Comment on what you thought of the episode and what you think is coming up next for our Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And yeah, that's it. So, I will see you guys next time.